Thank you, Jazz, again for putting this together. I'm happy to be here once again. And hopefully today we can cover the most important steps when it comes to setting up your account at Pinterest. I'm Breno. I've been a sports specialist at Pinterest for the past 2 years. I work close to tickets and issues related to all types of Pinterest products. And today we're going to talk about some more technical basic steps that you need to set up prior to start running ads here at Pinterest. So jumping into our agenda on today's workshop, we wanted to cover these three main topics. So the first one is getting started, where we will go over all the main points you need to set up and keep in mind before anything. So that is creating an account, setting up your profile, your billing information, until the actual moment you run your first campaign. Then we'll jump into a section on the resources and next steps to give you some more guidance on what else you can do to grow successfully on Pinterest. And finally, at the end, as Jess said, we'll have some time for a Q&A where we will go over some pre-submitted questions and also other questions that pop up during the presentation. So let's jump to the content. So the first thing we wanted to cover here is what we call the advertiser journey, which are some steps that most of our clients follow when they want to start running ads here at Pinterest. If we want to summarize all the main and first steps that you need to keep in mind prior to start running your ads, we can put it into these 5 main sections. So the first one is create and edit your business account. So prior to do anything, you need to have what we call a business account. This is where you keep all your business and advertiser information. There are a few ways to come up with this business account, which we will cover in the further in the next slides that I'll show you. The second step would be for you to set up and edit your profile. This is a more general step where you will add all the information needed so that your profile reflects what you want to show to Pinterest users. Then after you have your business profile and everything set up on this side, you need to set up what we call the ad account, which can be 1, 2, or a few. This will definitely depend on your business objective and needs. Each ad account can manage multiple campaigns, and they will also have unique countries, billing information, and other varieties if you decide to have more than one ad account. Then the first step would be to set up your billing and payment information. So we'll also cover how you can add this information to your ad account successfully and other considerations that you need to keep in mind when it comes to billing. So after you go through all these first steps, you have an active ad account and you can then run your first campaign. Just keep in mind that today's webinar, we're not going to focus on all the performance and particularities of a campaign setup, but we'll definitely go briefly through it. So this slide is just to illustrate a bit what I said earlier to make sure everyone is on the same page in terms of account levels and what is under what. So as we can see, we have the business account over everything. So ideally for your business, you can have only one business account, for example, and you should be able to manage multiple ad accounts and campaigns under this very one business account. Then under the business account, we have the ad accounts, which, as I said, can be more than one, more specifically up to 50 ad accounts under only one business account. And under each ad account, you can set up different campaigns. Within each campaign, you'll have what we call the ad groups that you can also set some specifications. So you can change the demographics, creatives, different audiences. These are things that you'll set up all in the ad group level. And finally, each ad group can have multiple creatives, which in this case will be reflected as ads or as we call promoted pins. On today's workshop, we will go over many of these concepts. So I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any confusions because I know sometimes these names can look very similar between each other. So jumping into our first main topic, which is creating and editing your business account. So at Pinterest, you are able to set up a free business account. This way you can get access to some features such as the analytics, where you can find a lot of resourceful information over your pin's activity. And also you'll gain access to run ads. When it comes to the ways we currently have for you to create your business account, there are mainly 3. So the first one we highlighted there is create a new business account from zero. So you are not linking that account to any other account, you'll be pretty much created from the scratch. The second option you have would be to create what we call a linked business account, meaning that you will create a business account that will be directly connected to your personal account. So you will keep all your personal information, but it's like you have a secondary business account under your personal account. And the third and last option would be to actually convert your whole personal account to a full business account. So keep all your followers, all your pins, but your account will be fully business. Keep in mind that you can always convert it back to personal whenever you want. The main difference between these three options is that the first one, so creating the business account from scratch, is the only option that you won't need to have an existing Pinterest account. So you won't need to link to any other profile, you just create a new one. And the other two options, so the linked business account and converting your account to business, can you need to have that personal account first, but you can always convert it back to a personal account. You just need to either unlink it or just revert it to a personal, depending on the type of business account you created. And now I'll just go over some very basic steps for each type of business account creation, where I will just show you step by step that you can take within the option you choose for your business. So the first one we have here, which is creating a new business account from zero. All you have to do is first access the pinterest.com/login. You can then click on create a business account on the bottom, just like the video there. And from there, you enter your email, your password, and all the other information that is requested. And then you can click on create an account. You see that from this part forward, all the business account creations will follow the same pattern. So you will pretty much need to add some information about your business, select whether you're planning on running ads or not. And by the time you fill all this information, you should have your business account ready to go. The second option is to create the linked business account. So as I first said, for this type of account, you will need to have a personal account already, since this will be linked to this personal account. So the first thing you need to do is log into your personal account at Pinterest. After, you need to click on the drop-down icon on the top right of your screen, just like in the video, and select the option add an account. The page that will open will have a few options, and you just need to choose create a business account. From there, you pick linked business account. And then, as I said, you can just fill up all the information that is requested, the type of business as it's showing there, and some other information that we request. And then you should have your account ready to go too. And the third and last option is to create a business account, is converting your personal accounts to a full business account. And all you need to do for this is, as soon as you log into your personal account, from there you go to settings, click on account management on the left of your screen, just like in the video, and then you'll see the option called convert to a business account. So you just need to click there and again fill out all the other information. And just to reinforce, I went through these three options just to show you the three possible ways you have to come up with your business account, linking to a personal account or not. But as I said, you definitely don't need to go through all of them. Just pick the best option for your business, and that's it. So if you already have a personal account and want to become fully business, you just need to convert it. Anyways, you just need to pick whatever fits best for you. And so after you have your business profile, you can then set up your account and add all the information needed so that it reflects your business and the message you want to share directly on your profile. So for this part, I highlighted two main things, which are claiming your website and personalizing your profile. The first point here is claiming your website. So if you want to summarize what is this concept, it's pretty much you telling Pinterest that that website is really yours, so no one else will add your website to their profile. And by doing this, you also have access to some other features. You'll have more visibility into the analytics from pins published from your website and from pins that other people created through your site. It also gives user more information about your business, as your website will be then displayed to your profile. Just to go over some features that you have after claiming your website. So as I said, you will have more visibility on analytics from your pins. Since we also have more visibility into your website, we will be able to have more retargeting capabilities. If you are a business that works with a catalog of products, you want to upload that to Pinterest, you also need to clean your website first prior to uploading your products to the platform. And that's the same thing if you want to work with one of the formats we have called collections. So you need to have that claimed. And also a few other features. So your profile picture will show next to your pins. The follow button will also appear next to your account. And you'll also have a verification mark into your profile, which will depend on the type of business you are. So if you're a normal business, if you are a merchant, if you are a creator, so that will depend on your type of business. So I'm not getting into too many technical details on how exactly you can claim your website, because we already have 2 other video trainings where we go through many other details on this specific topic only. So please just make sure to take a look at those trainings that are on the Pinterest business community. There you'll find some more information on how to set this up. It should be pretty simple, but you can always reach out to our support team in case you have any questions or if you need any help setting this up. Then after you claimed your website, or even before, you can edit your profile so that it reflects your business identity. This is a pretty standard step for all other platforms that you already use throughout life. So on your public profile, you can edit your profile name and your profile cover, edit the name that will be displayed directly on your page, add a bio to describe your business. You also have the option to add pronouns if that's applicable. Maybe you are a creator, for example. You can edit your website, you can add your username, and you can also edit the business email address from your account. And this should be super simple to set up, as I said. So just expanding the video from the last slides, all you need to do, we're just adding the cover picture. But all you need to do to add all the other information that I mentioned, you just go to the settings of your account, and from there you can just start filling the information to fill up your profile. Now that you have your business profile ready to go, you can then create the ad account. This is where you are going to create all the campaigns and where you are going to run your ads. Just to share some more context, you can create, as I said, multiple ad accounts on their business profile, up to 50 ad accounts actually. So the steps to create an ad account after you already have your business account are super simple. So on your new business account, you'll see an option called apps on the top of the screen. All you need to do is click there, and from the drop down access overview. So this first message from the video will pop up saying, "Welcome to Pinterest Ads Manager." And from there, you need just to fill in the information that is requested. The only thing that I believe is the most important of this process that I would highlight is that first message that appeared, that is setting up your country. So just please keep in mind that the country that you will add there will also reflect the currency of your account. So for example, if you opt for United States as your account's country, automatically your currency will be US dollars, and that's not something we can change after. So if you want to use a different currency, you just need to make sure your account is set up with the corresponding country for that specific currency. But if you do make a confusion, that's okay. All you have to do is just create a new ad account, and that's it. You're not going to be charged or anything. I also added some information about billing on these steps, as you need to add your billing information in order to activate your account. But we'll also go over about on billing on the next slides as well. Here, we just highlighted some important things to keep in mind when it comes to account creation. So when creating your account, you will also be asked to add your business information. This is what will appear on your receipt. So please make sure you add the information that you want to show there. I know that the billing receipts are used for tax purpose, so just make sure to include all the information you want to show there. If you want to step up to a next level on your account to track conversions or target a specific audience, you'll need to set up your Pinterest tag. which we will provide some resources in the end. But just a reminder that our last webinar here was also about Pinterest tag. So we do have a lot of information documented on this. And finally, just to reinforce what I mentioned in the past slide, the country that you set up will reflect the currency. So always make sure to keep this in mind when creating your account. If not, you will probably have to create a new ad account. Now, we jump into our billing and payment section. So this is probably where we get most questions on the support side and also on the community. So I will cover the most important points, but if you do have any other question, just please feel free to add it in the chat there, and we'll try to go over in the end of the presentation. So as I said, in order for you to activate your ad account to start running ads, you need to fill the business and billing information. So I wanted to start from the very basic, explaining how our billing process works here at Pinterest. And there are pretty much two main points on this: the billing thresholds and the billing frequency. So the billing threshold is the amount of spend that, when reached, will trigger a charge to the account by the end of the day. So just to give you a real example, your first billing threshold will be $50, meaning that when you start running your first campaign, whenever you reach that $50 mark, you will be charged. This can take 1 or 30 days. It will definitely depend on how you're planning to spend on your ads. So for example, if you're running a campaign that spends $50 on only one day, you will be charged by the end of the day. Or let's say you ran a campaign during a whole week that spends $60, you'll be first charged for those $50, as this was your current billing threshold, and the remaining $10 will be allocated on your next charge. As you pay your bills, your billing threshold will increase throughout time. So your second charge, you can expect something higher than $50 that you started with. Now, when it comes to the billing frequency, as I said, this will depend on how many times you reach the billing threshold. So you can reach one or multiple times during a month. And if you don't reach the threshold within a month, we will charge you the remaining amount left. So sometimes we receive some questions from where users are a bit confused with the amounts that they're being charged. Because they're not following any type of pattern. And that's usually because of our billing threshold that causes sometimes this small confusion. So now that you understand how our billing system works, I wanted to give you some tips on how you can manage this spend. So it's important to know how to manage this spend, because there can be some confusions in the beginning as you're just getting used to the platform. So we want to avoid any unwanted charges. So it's very important to know how to check the monthly spend. This is for you to keep track on how much you already spent during the past month. All you need to do is access the reporting section on Ads Manager, which is also on the interface of your ad account. And from there, you'll see some filters. All you need to do is move the filter to 30 days. This way, you'll see how much you spent in the last 30 days. You can also set a daily or a lifetime spend budgets to your campaign. To give you some context, when setting up your campaign, you can choose to either spend on a daily frequency or on a lifetime, which will take the full budget and distribute during the amount of days you set up the campaign to be active for. So the spend limits will help you have more control over the campaign spending, so that you don't get lost on what you're spending with your campaigns at Pinterest. And this can be set up just directly on the campaign when you create. And if you already created the campaign, you can just switch it at any time, even if the campaign is already active. Now we're going to talk about how you can update your business and payment information. So if you haven't added this already when you were creating your account, this should be super quick and simple as well. All you need to do is click on the ads on the top of the UI. And when the dropdown opens, you click on the billing. So the billing page, you'll see most resources related to the billing side. You can go directly to payment settings. And on this page, you'll see the option to add your business information. So just click there and add all your information and everything you want to provide. Also remind that this is the information that is going to reflect on your receipt. So make sure you're adding everything properly there. And as soon as you add your business information, you'll see the option to add your payment information, which is right next to it. Same thing here. You just go ahead and add your credit card details. You can also add a backup credit card. Just one thing here, we may charge a very small temporary amount just to verify the card. But don't worry, there shouldn't be any charge by doing this. It's a free process. That's just for verification, and we should return that amount. You're just going to be charged whenever you actually start running the campaigns. That's what's expected. So another thing that's very important when we talk about billing are the accepted cards that we have. So we accept all these cards that are listed there. So American Express, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, GCB for Japan. Direct debits is an option that at the moment it's only available through Klarna for German only. And we don't accept prepaid cards, PayPal, or any other card that is not listed on our help center. So what I recommend here is always to check our help center article on the accepted cards. Even I like to verify this when I'm troubleshooting a credit card case to make sure I'm getting everything. But again, if you have any questions, issues, concerns on this, our support team is here to help. So just reach out to us directly and we'll try to find the best solution for you here. Finally, you can always check your billing history, which will have all the information about your previous charges. So you can access your receipts and see the history of your charges. You will have information about the amount that you were charged and the respective campaigns that's being attributed to. This can also be found on the billing section on Ads Manager right under billing history. So finally, you have created your business account, you have set up your profile, created an ad account, and activated it by editing or paying information. Now you should be ready to run your first campaign. So as I said, today we are not covering all the specifications on the campaign setup. It's just to give you a very quick overview on the things that you need to add in order to activate your first campaign. So I definitely recommend you go through some of the articles that we listed in the end of the presentation, but also keep posted on the next events we will have here, as we'll also cover more of this best practice in the future too. So the first thing you need to do to create a campaign is access the same ads that drop down that I've referred a lot during the presentation. And from there, you click on create a campaign. The second thing you need to do is choose your campaign objective. There are multiple campaigns objectives. So if you ever ran ads before, you may be familiarized with some of these objectives. And we also have a few help center articles that will help you when choosing what's the best for your business objective. So in this case, we are creating a consideration campaign, which will focus on getting more people to actually click on my ad or the pin directly on Pinterest. Then you need to add a name to your campaign and define the status, whether you wanted to keep it active right away or if you want to keep it paused. Then you need to choose the type of budget you want to pick. So if you want to spend exactly a specific amount every day, you can opt for a daily budget. Or if you want to spend not necessarily the same amount every day, you can opt for a lifetime budget, which will give our platform more flexibility to allocate your budget within the campaign's flight. Then we will jump into the ad group level, where you will define the targeting strategy. There are many options available on Pinterest. You can also pick up one that fits better to your business objective, also listed on the Help Center articles. And on the ad group level, you will also need to choose the optimization and bid strategy. Keep in mind that some of these settings may change considering the type of campaign objective that you're using. So just be aware that this can be slightly different for some cases. Then the last step on the setup will be to select your pins. We have multiple pin formats that you can test and try. Also make sure to check our formats available on our help center, which I listed on our resources as well. And finally, after you start running your campaign for a while, you should expect to see some results. So to check the results from your first campaign, all you have to do is access the reporting page on Ads Manager and you'll see all the metrics we have there. So hopefully this whole journey was clear to you. I know there is a lot of steps, and a lot of these steps are similar to what you've seen in other setups, but we just wanted to make sure every part is clear and simple for you. Now I'll briefly share some next steps and resources that we have in case you still have any questions or if you are wondering what else you can explore here at Pinterest. So the first thing that I would say is set up your Pinterest tag. So it's a piece of code that you will link to our website and we'll be able to share a lot of resourceful data to Pinterest, which will help you unblock a variety of features and also help with your campaign optimization. So you can track events and after optimize your campaigns using those events that you track through the Pinterest tag. The second thing that I added there is if you sell products through a catalog, for example, you can also set up your catalog at Pinterest. So you can either just organically display your products on your profile, which is 100% free, or you can also promote your products with a catalog sales objective, for example. Make sure to also use our help center. Everything we have documented, it's there. You should be able to find all the information needed about Pinterest on the articles that are listed there. And finally, don't forget to check our best practice for pins on our business blog. It has some real good insights and can definitely help you out when creating these first pins for your first campaigns. So on this presentation, you also find all the resources on our help center related to these topics that we covered today. The presentation will be shared with you, so you have access to all this. But don't hesitate to search for any other topic about Pinterest because everything should be documented on our help center. And finally, these are a few other resources and collateral websites we have. So the help center, as I said, super resourceful. We also have our developer corner, which is a space for developers in case your team has any developer that can definitely be useful for you. Our business community, of course, to connect and share with other business that are passing through the same situations as you are. And of course, our support team, which I am a part of. So on our help center, you will find a link to open a support ticket and talk directly with one of our support specialists that can help you with all the problems you can possibly have with the platform. So hopefully this was resourceful for you. And now we'll have some time for Q&A. So I'll just pass to Jess.
Thank you, Breno. Thank you for this incredibly informative presentation. We hope that going through this presentation live has helped everyone here get a better understanding of how to get started with ads. And now we're going to go ahead and dive into our Q&A. So thank you to everyone who pre-submitted their questions. We're going to go ahead and get started with those, and then we'll dive into some of the Q&A questions. And for the questions that we don't have time to answer here live, please head over to the Pinterest business community. Joan will drop a link here. You can definitely connect with other businesses. We have our moderation team, and you can find answers to any of your ad-related questions in our advertiser conversations. So now we'll go ahead and dive into some of the pre-submitted questions, starting with our first one, which asks, can I work with more than one currency on my ad account? And if I already created an ad account with the wrong currency, can I delete it?
Great. So I think that kind of follows what we cover on the billing and ad account part. So at the moment, we can only work with one currency per account. So as I said, it will reflect the currency from the country that you added, right, when you created the accounts. So as I said, we're not able to completely delete the ad accounts from the UI. So unfortunately, if you created an ad account with the wrong currency, you just need to keep it there and it will be disabled. As if you don't add a payment method, it would just not work. So you don't need to worry about it. But unfortunately, it will not leave the UI directly. So you can just create a different account with the proper country for the currency that you want to work, and just leave the other account inactive, and this should be all.
Great. Thank you, Brenna, for that detailed answer. Appreciate that. And then the next question reads, I ran my first campaign, but it spent over what I was planning to. Is there a way to avoid campaign overspend in the future?
Perfect. Yeah, it's sometimes it's common. There's a confusion in terms of the overspend and how you can make sure to manage your spend properly. So you should always have a track of your budgeting strategy that you set up on your campaign. So you will have the option to activate the campaign between some days, or you can just keep it active. And I believe the error there is just keeping it active. Sometimes you can forget if you didn't set up a time to end. So make sure you always know what type of budgeting strategy you're using. If you opt for keeping active, just make sure you pause whenever you don't want to spend anymore. But again, our support team can help you if you identify any weird overspend. Sometimes this can happen, but definitely keep track of your business, your budgeting strategy, so that you don't overspend within your campaigns.
Really helpful. Thank you, Bruno, for covering that. I know that's a pretty common question. All
Definitely.
right. Next question. How long should an ad be running to be sure of its performance?
So the time that a campaign will take to ramp up, and that's the term we use for a campaign to start spending, can be very different depending on the campaign objective. So let's say, out of experience, I know that awareness and consideration campaigns are more simple to start spending. So those can take from 1 to 48 hours, for example. But some campaigns that use some events to optimize, let's say, conversion campaigns or catalog campaigns, those campaigns can take some time to start spending. So if you activate your campaign, I suggest you keep an eye on it for the first 2 days. And if you don't see any spend, just reach out to our support team, and then we can take a look to see if there's anything blocking the campaign. Sometimes the pins can be filtered somehow because they don't follow our guidelines, for example. So there can be a lot of different situations that can block the campaign for not spending. But this can definitely vary. So I'll just say keep an eye on the campaign, and if it doesn't spend anything for the first whole day, and if you see that the same behavior happens for the second day, I'll just reach out to our support team.
Great. Thank you so much, Breno. And as Breno mentioned, a lot of the resources like Help Center articles and other documentation will be outlined in this deck, which we will be sharing. So you'll have access to all the links, this full recording. So if you want to look back on it, you'll definitely have this available to you. And
Perfect.
now we're going to go ahead and jump into a couple of questions from the Q&A. Breno will be answering some of those, but before we jump into the Q&A, I just want to remind everyone that these events are ongoing, and based on your responses and your interest, we can definitely host events based on specific topics. So one of the follow-up events that we will be hosting will be on campaign strategy. So if you have very specific questions about how to optimize campaigns and performance, that is something we will be covering in our next event, which is a follow-up to this Getting Started with Ads. So please make sure to subscribe to our Pinterest Business Community chapter, and just make sure that you're aware so that you get emails and updates on all of our future upcoming events. And if you have any topics that you'd like to see covered in the future, please let us know in our post-event survey. We'd love to hear from you, and we want to create impactful events that cover the topics that are highest priority to you. So I'll go ahead and hand it over to Breno to answer a few of our Q&A questions.
Perfect. So let's start for the first one. So can you claim more than one website? That's a very common question. And yes, you can claim as many websites you want. The only important thing about this claim website process is that the same website can't be claimed by more than one account. So if you have any other accounts, you need to claim the same website only in one account. Otherwise, we will need to delete from that account to add to another. I know that's very common. For example, people claim websites if they have, let's say, different versions of their website for different countries. So let's say I worked with clients that had websites in Canada and United States at the same time, and they wanted to claim that's subpath from the website, and that's available. So you can claim as many websites as you want. And definitely, as Jess answered there, definitely look for the other resources we have on the community. We also have some help center articles on this to help you out when doing this process. So do you provide ad credit? So there are some specific situations. I don't think we have this clear and documented anywhere specifically. I can definitely take a look for the future. I know that, for example, if you use Shopify, there are some credits that you can get for working with a partner, but that will really depends. But there aren't a lot of specific situations, but we can definitely look into and share something after too. How will this benefit my business? I'm not sure what time exactly this was flagged. Do Pinterest view help or affected running ads? That's actually a very good question. Depending on let's say your ad was affected, as I mentioned, on this specific situation, because you did not follow our guidelines, for example. Usually you should, I mean, not usually, but you should get an email saying that your ads were rejected somehow, and they probably go through a second review. And if you do see that your ads did not go through a second review, or they did come back still rejected, as I said, reach out to our support team, and then we can also look into together with the team that does this approval to understand why is it being blocked and why it's affecting. But definitely there are situations where the pins are not accepted by the platform somehow, and we need to look each case specifically. I'm seeing that there's a question here about audience. I really wanted to answer this, but it really gets into too many details. There are literally more than like 5 ways to come up with audiences in Pinterest. So I see that they shared some resources there already. On our help center, you can find most information about all the types of audiences we have. But as I said, if you still have any questions, if there's still something up, just reach out to the support team and we should be able to answer all the remaining questions you have about audiences.
Yeah. And
oh yeah, sorry, go ahead, Jess.
Yeah, and to jump in on that question, that's such a great question. And I think it requires a much deeper conversation. So if this is a topic that would be of interest for our next event, please let us know in our post-event survey. Like I mentioned before, we want to make sure we're addressing the top of mind topics. So that in itself is a big topic that we can cover in one of our next events.
Perfect. I think we can cover one more, Jess. Is this okay?
Yeah, we have time for one more.
So the one came up, this might be specific only to me, but can I claim a domain that is redirected to a page that is already claimed? If that website is already claimed, you probably won't be able to claim it. Maybe we could try to understand your case specifically, but usually no if that website is already claimed. So unfortunately, you need to claim all websites that are not claimed yet.
All right. Thank you, Breno, for answering some of our Q&A questions here. That is all we have time for today, folks. But like I mentioned, for any additional questions that we weren't able to answer live, please head over to the Pinterest business community. We are happy to help answer any questions there. And also, please make sure to review all of our post-event materials that we'll be emailing to you. So all of these helpful resources and articles that Breno put together and mentioned here. And we just want to thank you all for joining us today. We really hope that you found this event helpful. And like we mentioned, we really look forward to covering more topics in our upcoming events. So please stay tuned for those and make sure to subscribe to the PBC chapter email so you don't miss out on any event announcements. We'll be following up with the full event recording by tomorrow. So please keep an eye out for that. And lastly, please take a minute to share your feedback in our post-event survey, which you'll receive a few minutes after this event. We're always trying to improve and bring you events that are top of mind. So please feel free to share your feedback there. And thank you all again so much for being here today. Huge thank you to Breno, our support specialist, for taking the time to answer questions live and share some wisdom with us today. We'll see you all at the next event. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.